Hello, this week we are going to study Luigi Boccherini, perhaps one of the best cellists to ever grace the earth with his presence. He is known specifically as the creator of the string quintet. It's a standard string quartet plus a string bass. He was the first person to really write in any main capacity for that ensemble. He himself was a virtuoso cellist, known for he would play in a string quartet, and if the first violinist wasn't there, he'd just play the first violin part on his cello at pitch. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. And a lot of times he would play violin literature, specific concertos, on the cello. Which, you can't do that, but nobody ever told him, so he did it anyway. His dad was a professional double bass player, so he got a start at music early in life. The specific concerto we're going to listen to today was written for cello solo with strings only accompaniment. The defining characteristic of any concerto is a single soloist out in front of an orchestra. Most of his life, like the last 35 years of his life, he lived in Spain. That's where he passed away, but his remains were repatriated to his native Lucca, Italy, in 1927. So he was brought back home. He wrote mainly chamber music meant to be played in small areas by a small number of players. He did write symphonies. He did write vocal music. He actually wrote one opera. Wasn't really an opera. It was kind of a staged production, but it was called Clementi, and it was a form of opera that kind of died out about then. But anyway, he's got one under his belt. He has quite a large number of pieces that he composed, and usually when composers are writing their pieces, they don't care what order they write them in. That's somebody else's job later on. And there was a man named Yves Girard, and he took it upon himself to go and catalog all of Luigi Boccherini's works. Therefore, when you see anything by Boccherini, it has a G 182 or a G 14 or whatever. That's for Girard. He didn't necessarily put them in order chronologically. He grouped them by the type of work they were, and chronologically within that. So all of his string quartets are numerically in order, string quintets numerical, the vocal music numerical. He did a bunch of flute quintets, guitar quintets, and all these. So Girard made it his life's work to do that. Now we're going to listen to a part of the first movement of G479. That's his cello concerto. This is one of his best known works. Funny story. It was actually taken from two other works, and 100 years after his death, somebody put them together and made a kind of a mishmash, and resulting in the piece that we know today. It has since been, put back in its original condition, but for a long time, it was kind of not the real thing. So here is the Boccherini Cello Concerto. All right, that was Mislav Rostropovich, Russian cello soloist extraordinaire. The conductor, his name is Seiji Ozawa. He's from Japan. He's also one of the best conductors in the world. Okay, next week we will be looking at the Art Song and a really interesting setting of a tune called the Erlkönig.